guys, it's Carlos, the Ultimate Fitness Trainer once again, and thank you so much for watching the video. And today we're doing a video on Ask the Trainer Show, and we're here in Ibiza. As you guys can see, this beautiful weather. It's not Sutton Park, it's Ibiza. So Ben is going to ask me a couple of questions, and basically I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability and try to help us become our greatest version. So over to Ben now.
When people sweat in the gym, does that mean, when people don't sweat in the gym, does that mean they're healthy or unhealthy, or what is sweat?
Okay. No, that's actually, I've been asked this question before, and I've spoke about what it actually means. Obviously, sweat is actually perspiration from your body, basically losing water. Now, that's not a definition of fitness. No, it's not the definition of unfitness. It's not the definition of being healthy or unhealthy. What it is your body ability to cool down your body. So your body literally sweats in order to cool your body down. Now, a lot of people think because they sweat loads means they're losing a lot of water, means they're losing a lot of fat. That don't mean that at all. But let me just explain something that is kind of like misunderstood. Is you probably hear people going, oh right, you've got boxers that they sweat a lot and they put those bags on them and loads of different sort of sweat bags in order to lose excess water. Now, the reason why those guys do that is because they're going to be weighed in. Once they made a weigh-in, that's the fighting weight. Obviously they get given a weight to fight at. So once they make that mark, that's their weight, and then they can carb up as they go along. Now, that doesn't happen with people that go to the gym, because if you say sweat, say, I don't know, 5 pounds or 6 pounds or whatever, some people more or less, right? Once you hydrate yourself, you go back to your original weight. So you actually really, if you like, not really doing any benefit to you, because you're sweating, you literally allowing your body to sweat that much, but then you rehydrate yourself, you go back to the same weight. So it's kind of like a game you're playing with yourself. So it's not really, I wouldn't advise someone to do that. And also as well, let me just tell you this, and you can actually do your research yourself. You burn more fat. So let's say, for instance, I'm doing power walk now, and it's really close to 36 degrees. Now, although my body's sweating while I'm doing these videos to you guys, my body's not burning as much fat as if I was literally up in Scotland in the winter, -2 or 3 or 10 or whatever, doing power walk. Because what happens is this: when you do power walk or any aerobic exercise, your body burns more fat in the cold weather conditions, because your body utilizes a lot of fat store to warm your body up. Does that make sense? Now, if you guys want to do your own research, have a look at that. Whereas in the summer, so now my body doesn't need to basically utilize the fat stores to keep my body warm. But what it does is it's literally sweating, but it doesn't utilize as much calorie fat, if that makes any sense. So if you actually look from the ratios, I'm not saying that you shouldn't sweat so then you burn more body fat. What I'm trying to say to you is sweat is perspiration, and what it does is it's basically just water. Okay, it's not the sign of health, it's not the sign of you being unhealthy, it's not the sign of you becoming super fit. What it is it's just water. But once you hydrate yourself again, it's basically you literally get that water weight back on again. And I hope that answers kind of the question that you've asked.
Yeah.
Cool.
Muscle gains and muscle loss, how long does it take for each one?
Okay, now muscle gains and muscle loss, obviously gaining muscle, it depends how long is a piece of string, obviously very much so, depending on the person, depending on the diet, depends on the supplementation, depends on the training, right? It really is dependent on the training. Now, you got to be realistic in order to put, I mean, you hear all these guys talk about, like, I mean, I was listening to Richard Piana the other day, which for the guys that don't know who he is, I'm sure for the guys that know exactly who he is, you'll probably be a fan of him. I actually really like him. I think he talks a lot of sense and actually tells you not what you want to hear, but very much so what you need to hear. And he's quite brutal. He tells loads about steroids and how you shouldn't use steroids unless you're competing. And although he takes steroids himself, he actually tells people not to take it. Now, you guys know that. I think it's actually good to see these guys that are professional. Hold on a second, let's just cross the road. You clearly don't want me to be run over. And obviously, you know, Spanish drivers can be very, very naughty. they are very, very dodgy drivers. So watch where you're going. Okay, let's cross now. Okay, so going back to Richie Piana, this guy obviously talks a lot of sense, he's got a lot of experience, but he actually himself says how important it is for you guys not to take steroids and actually have a clean, obviously, diet and training, and basically help become yourself, really, in essence, your greatest version. Now, how much do you put, how fast you put muscle, or how fast you lose fat? It really is, it does really massively depend on your genetics, on your training, on your obviously diet, supplementation, how often you do it, and you got to be realistic. Now, Richard Piana says that you can put 30 pounds of muscle and say 2 months, and if you follow this particular thing, it's hard to say, really is hard to say, because it goes back into what I've just said, levels of intensity, volumes and everything. It's kind of like so hard to obviously put on a sort of number. Now, all I can say is, realistically, when you're trying to lose fat, it's very, very common for people to say that you can lose, say, 2 pounds, 3 pounds a week of body weight. However, that is the percentage of fat, that's the percentage of muscle as well. And in order to gain muscle as well, it could be like, you could say someone is going to gain 2 pounds or 3 pounds of muscle within a week or so. Now it depends, that could be a level of water retention, it could be a level of a lot of fat as well. So it's really hard to say. However, the mirror never lies. So if you've got on the right diet, right training, right supplementation, right aerobic exercise, the mirror never lies. So that's how I guide myself. Obviously, I guide myself through obviously body fat measurements as well as weight, and you can just see, you can tell. I do that with my clients as well. So that really gives you an idea where you are. Okay, cool.
Yeah, brilliant. A lot of people have like bone and joint problems, and they're worried about going to the gym because of high impact. So, what advice can you give to them?
Bone and joints, yeah. Well, the best advice I can give people that obviously got joint problems or obviously articulation, sort of, if you like, tendon problems, just obviously be careful. First and foremost, obviously, ask your doctor if it is advisable to train while you're taking whatever medication or whatever operation you've gone through. But obviously, our bodies were made to move. So it's very important to understand that it's not by not doing anything that's going to get better. It's by doing something correctly in the right form in order to become better. Now, special people, we're all getting older, so it's so important for us to mobilize our joints. It's not just about six packs, it's about actually becoming your greatest versions. So becoming more mobile, become fitter, stronger, healthier, that's what it's all about. And that's not just from a point of view of weight training. Now you can become strong, like say for instance, if you speak to people that are 50, 60, 70, 80 years of age, those people will benefit massively just by doing, or even anyone really, benefit from weight training, but also just body weight exercises. How many of us go, say for instance, do press-ups? How many of us do squats? Just normal squats, with no weight. Forget about squat racks. How many of us do walking lunges? How many of us go on all fours and do bear crawls? You see, we've got that's the reason why we've got our body, is to literally move that way. We are three-dimensional beings. So obviously it's very important to move in basically in those 3 planes of motion, which is forward, to the side, and twisting. Now a lot of us go to work in our car like this, okay? We sit at our desk like this with a curved back, and we go home like this in our car, and we get home and sit down in front of television like this. So it's very sedentary sort of lifestyle, which is bad for you, and it doesn't help you become your greatest version. That's why I'm a massive promoter, and I try to help us, all of us really, become our greatest versions from a point of view of training, diet, supplementation, and also mind as well. And that's what I do because I'm passionate in order to help people. Cool? Yes, Ben?
Brilliant.
Great. So from Ibiza town, as you guys can see, it's pretty warm. Beautiful place here, really. It's warm and it's nice. It's nice. There's lots of people here, to be fair, actually becoming their greatest versions, as you can see, on a bikes, doing power walk, running. And it's all cool. So with all this said, guys, please follow me on Instagram, which is Carlos Trainer 10, and on my YouTube, which is Carlos Trainer. Like, subscribe, and share our videos if you can, and keep sending me those requests. And with all that said, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit from Ibiza. Take care.